And you're live, everyone. Wave. Hi. 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 Yeah. Look at Google picking up my countdown. Hi,
Woo.
everyone, and welcome to Revenge of the Gith, episode 19. We are 2 episodes away. Well, next week is our finale. So keep that in mind. Mark that on your calendars. It's going to be exciting. Um, but yeah, we're here. Some of us are queer. Um, and we're gonna get started with some introductions, and we're gonna start with our wonderful dungeon master, Mr. Robbie
Oh, let
Roland.
me wait for him to get in. Hey, just kidding. It's me. Ooh, the person who hits their mic sometimes. It's me, Robbie Roland, Rob the GM. Hello, everyone. Uh, I will be your game master for this evening. Already starting off on a very interesting vibe. So, like every week this season at least, I have a question for everyone's characters, not for them, which is um, since we are going to be starting this session escaping a 1920 New York esque elemental punks floating city, what would you all do if you weren't kind of trapped here against your will and trying to escape? What would you want to do in this massive, strange, fantasy esque city?
Our characters.
Yes, as your characters, what would you want to be doing in this very strange for the world city?
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone, I'm Montana. I play Throck the Unsatisfied, Crocodilian Circle of the Moon Druid. Uh, and if Throck was in this city, of course he'd want to taste all the delectable food. Giants might have a taste that Throck might like, so he'd probably do that. He'd probably check out a little local wildlife, see if there's any animals around here, see if they're good tasting.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin, and I play Proserpina, the tiefling arcane archer. And if she were trapped in this city, there'd be three things she'd want to do: spend time with her mother, learning alchemy, go shopping, and then we'll just say stuff.
That's me. Hi,
No, you're not.
no.
Hey!
Hi, I'm Ember. I'm playing Fang today, the Shifter Houndmaster, and if he was in this city, not stuck and having to escape, the correct answer is he'd probably still try to escape. He's not one for cities, like at all. But he might try to find like a maybe a kennel or something and go visit some doggos.
I'm the local PetSmart. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, I'm Obadiah playing Suf, the half drow warden extraordinaire, and if he was in this city, he would be here to he'd be here to steal something. He'd be here to steal something very valuable, and probably probably like take as much along the way. I'm saying in the best case, it would end up like as a loop on the third movie. If we were if we were able to get like some really high profile actors on it, maybe in Ocean's 11. They got aspirations. Call me Hollywood, we'll make it happen.
Okay. Um, and hey y'all, what's up? My name is Vale. This is my channel. I'm bringing to you today the half drow. Um, Yay, German. Thanks for the sub.
I am happy to use my Prime sub here.
Thanks, German. Um, so she is the Blade Singer, so she is our resident wizard. She would be, if she was not being trapped, she would find, she would definitely find a new dress to fit her new aesthetic, just goth, but no longer Lolita. Um, and she might be she might be looking for a handsome stranger for a one night stand. She hasn't. It's been a while, like, and she that's her coping mechanism. So she would be fine. Yeah, that's what she'd be doing. Yeah. Oh my god.
Wow, all of these subscriptions coming in for September.
Yeah, September. Yeah.
I know what months are. Man, Val, if only not only did the viewers at home know that by subbing to the channel they were supporting a creator, but also doing something to the game. Wouldn't that be neat?
That is a
That'd be
neat
pretty
thing.
cool.
Oh my god, you can actually do that. So, hey guys, you can affect the game with your bits, subs, and donations. Every 100 biddies here gives anyone you see here a reroll. Every time you subscribe to the channel, it gives subs. You can give anyone here a nat 20 or a nat 1. Those, if they don't get used during the session, they just roll over, sort of things. So we're all just kind of sitting on a couple right now. Our GM has 4 nat 20s, and that's not okay. If you want to just give us money, just straight up money, either on Coffee or Streamlabs, there's like a scale of how much you donate directly to us, but you can just make shit happen. Shit has happened, like, this is the only show, I think, that, like, people take us up on it, because Rob, I think you just seem to make whatever people want happen, oddly enough. Are you sitting on any donations right now?
Not anymore.
Okay.
You all have a magic item from a donation a
Yeah.
long time ago that you just recently identified, I believe. So there's lots of there, but there were
we have the
lots
Moaning
of fun.
Shield as well.
Morning Shield,
Yeah.
that came about because of a donation, and it stayed because of a donation. And so y'all, y'all have made me break out my very rarely used dusty Australian accent so Steve Irwin could show up. Like, things can just happen here,
It's
y'all.
true.
Let's have a good time.
It's true.
Oh, yeah. So, in the interest of having a good time, if you don't mind, Val, I'll whisk us away
Whisk
to
us
the
away. Let's go.
to the world of Aureal. We come back to this world which a year and a half ago was invaded by the Gith Yankee, astral planar raiders, people from an entirely different realm, an ageless realm of a sea of kind of purplish stars. Not much has been known or explored by the party about the astral plane, but what is known is that they done really fucked up the material plane. Tell you what, they pushed everyone out of the Underdark, saying that they were going to rid it and the entire plane of the Illithid Mind Flayer threat. They cordoned it off and set the entire rest of the surface under martial law. And that's just been how the characters have had to live for a year and a half. However, they are not just messing with the material plane. Turns out they're actually doing a lot of other really bad stuff, like stopping their cousins, the Gizeri, from interfering by blocking the plane of Limbo, or messing with it in some way, which is also letting Slad's bad stuff from Limbo come on over. Messing with the connection between the Shadowfell and the Feywild, and straight up just kind of destroying the ethereal plane. So the party is going to try and stop at least one of those things by getting to the ruins of Pentar, some kind of ancient site of some significance that the party knows is the crux of this interference with at least the Shadowfell and Feywild. They're not sure about the others yet. So, to do so, they were traveling. They spent about a month already journeying across a riverbed through the Underdark and then to a town. And then they realized that the town was full of secret Slad that were about to turn into massive frog behemoths and maybe kill them. So they were teleported away from there to the technically extreme safety of the floating city of Shantu. It is, imagine like a 1920s New York, but it's all elemental text. So there, instead of cars, it's massive earth elementals. There are water elementals keeping the sluiceways and the sewer system going, as well as all the beautiful fountain work. There are fire elementals keeping it alight at night, and air elementals, assumably, keeping it afloat. It is a city with a outer ring filled with people, refugees possibly, and inner ring that is quite literally a giant city, a city for giants. Um, However, the party hasn't been able to explore it because it turns out that when you live in an ecosystem that doesn't have an ecosystem, you have to be kind of careful about what you let in and out of that ecosystem. And so just entering and leaving the city is not something you can actually just do. And so the party has been kind of squirreled away into a safe house, is now going to have to figure out how to get out of it without giving the Gith Yankee too much time for their nefarious goals and deeds. So, this is going to be a little bit of a different, fun, almost skills challenge-esque. Where we're gonna have a heist movie as our first act of this episode, essentially. So everyone is going to basically do a scene of just roleplay that's not for the heist, that's for the movie. We're gonna have what you're maybe doing in your spare time and what you're doing to advance the heist. Whether that's you could just say, I'm just going to do stuff when things happen and we'll talk about that, or what are you doing in preparation? But first, we of course need the prep scene. So you all have been in the safe house for about the day after Fang left the safe house and saw this literally almost incomprehensible sight to him. Someone who's not only not been in most like large cities, but definitely not been in one like this. And we can see a like a table with a kind of map of only the outer ring of the city. You can see that there was a massive central section of the city where Fang saw the giants all mostly walking around, but that is unmapped. And this kind of very stately servant who has been your go-between between the Lady Hareen and yourselves is kind of speaking on many subjects. So we'll kind of circle a point in the city. So I'm sure you all are very interested in, first of all, leaving and also what you may be able to do. So I've spoken with the Lady Hareen and weighed many options, and I believe we have a few different places that we could get one or two of you maximum. First of all, Property Lean, I know you were asking about a tree, and we'll kind of draw a circle around a place. It looks like it's probably only about maybe 5-minute run away from the safe house. So pretty quick if you're running, even quicker if you're flying. That's probably the closest park to this safe house. However, I will say that this city is very well watched after. If you are looking to move about the city quietly, flying is a terrible idea. The giants of the city are masters of the sky, thus floating city thing. So trying to fly around secretly is going to be nigh impossible. You will want to be on the ground. There are few places that we could probably get you. Firstly is a library. Circles another kind of place in the city. It is not the main library, but it is a branch, and should have a good number of tomes. There should be more. It should be a larger. Think on the level of a mage college in terms of access to information. It's not quite as good as the central library, but still pretty large in as far as the city goes. Now there will also be. Kind of looks like it's embarrassing. I don't want to say it. There is an individual. They are in charge of the waste renewal in the city. They work with the elementals and natural processes beneath the city. They do not adhere to all of the rules of the city's government. However, they serve an extremely essential function. They have a moniker that they have chosen for themselves, and if you needed they also a very well-known rumor monger and could get you possibly information or maybe even smuggled into another place. However, that is it will not be free, and it will require some things to do. So yes, we could get you in contact with the shit talker. That is him. And other than that, there is as well, if you needed, there is a couple of different places of worship, or even just, I know that this is a pretty enclosed space. There is also a place where you might be able to do a little more loud work, a workshop we have, if you required some time for crafting. Do you have any questions or
Yes.
concerns?
So, the issue with flying, is that like flying as people, or is that flying as sparrows?
As what?
Birds. Like, are there birds here?
Not usually, no. Birds
Okay.
are pretty rare, to be quite honest. We're pretty high up in the air.
Okay, is,
The only birds that you would see don't actually fly that much. They are birds that kind of were here when the city was raised, and then they
Right.
bred, and so they're
and
mostly
so they're
flightless.
like little tiny land birds. So, how high up are we?
Oh, it's not entirely known. The city does not stay 100% static.
Mm-hmm.
However, we are at least thousands of feet above the surface
Okay.
of the continent.
Wow, how do we keep such great air quality? So is there anything that keeps anyone from just walking off the city and falling into the sky?
Will you be seen? I mean, there are walls to make sure that nothing happens. For instance, if there was like an elemental accident, like a binding loosened that and just kept moving forward, that would run into a wall. It's nothing that a person, if they were not determined, could not climb over. But it would be very hard to do so without being seen. You could attempt it during night. The city's fairly well lit during that. It's possible.
Okay.
What sort of favors does the shit talker usually request?
Well, they are, as I said, a rumor monger. However, there is, of course, always the need for gold and for favors in their particular line of work. If you are attempting to leave, I'm sure either information or gold will be the primary resource.
Do you
And,
have a proper
that-
visa?
What is that?
Do you have a proper visa? Are you allowed to walk around?
Oh, yes, that's how you are all getting food and such.
Oh, okay. And she just kind of like looks him over and, yes, okay. Yes, that's how you're getting food and such.
But that's not what I sound like at all.
I'm
What are you
trying.
doing?
I'm practicing. Leave me alone. Like,
So
she's
if you
just-
are if
Huh?
you are attempting to disguise yourself
Mhm.
as myself,
Mhm.
that would work. I will say you would need the papers.
So you
And-
always have to carry your papers around with you?
It's one of those things of, as long as you're not doing anything, you shouldn't need them.
Okay.
However, for larger transactions or transactions of things that are watched,
Mhm.
as well as just if there is anything, do not take this the wrong way.
Mhm.
You all seem like extremely capable individuals, and I have no doubt that you are resourceful. I believe that you all may have a tendency to call attention to yourselves at certain points in time
Mhm.
due to your actions, which is in many cases a large boon. However, if you were to do so and you do not have papers, you will be imprisoned
Oh,
quite
okay.
quickly.
Okay. So,
Can the guards stop you on the street if they suspect you don't have papers?
they're not guards, they're cops, remember?
Fuck the police.
I
That's
agree.
to be quite honest. There's no real reason why anyone would assume you don't have papers if you're not being suspicious. The teleportation chambers and the other ways of getting into the city are very well watched. So to be quite honest, the guards and giants of the city do assume that nobody's able to sneak in. That is kind of the only reason people are able to sneak in.
Hmm.
I can work with that.
So, the workshop, that area.
Yes. Yes.
What else in the workshop?
If you require specific ingredients as well, if you are indeed looking for anything of the alchemical nature, given her lady's line of work, be
Yes.
more than able to supply whatever is needed.
Okay. Just making sure. Thank you.
Of course. I will say there is one other detail. Due to, again, the nature of the city, there is a large-scale ward. Conjuration magic, which is the type which allows for both the creation and teleportation of things, is warded. It does not stop it in any way. Simply know that if you use conjuration magic within the city, somebody will know. So if you attempted to do so and you did not immediately leave, you will be beset by guards. And sometimes, if you're unlucky enough, and there are higher level peacekeepers around, it could even be countered. Because the main ways that the city could fall, other than logistical failure, is a large force flying in and attacking. That is what the giants and their guards are for. Or someone teleporting in. That is what the peacekeepers and the ward is for. So,
And I assume unpermitted conjuration is very illegal.
100%.
Ansha looks through her book and it's like just start checking off, and she's like, so dimension door is a last ditch effort. Got it. Alright. Do not summon any tiny dinosaurs. Okay, got that. Not that I could do that anyway.
Well,
it doesn't sound like a great idea, but I was just gonna polymorph you all into geese and just throw you over the side.
You would not recommend.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a bad idea. I recommended geese because they would they're used to being further up than other animals.
I suppose maybe people would think that you're just someone's pet, but who's to say?
What kind of pets do people have here?
In a wide variety, I would say.
What kind of pet do you have?
I don't keep a pet.
Well, if you could have a pet, like if you had this conversation with somebody who was just like, if I could ever have a pet, and they met you in the street and they knew you, hermit crabs. Okay, writes that down. Understand. Just in case I have to disguise myself as you, for example, and I have to carry somebody with me, I just know what to turn them into. And that is apparently, as she looks at all of you, hermit crabs.
Sure. Of course, I'm here if you have any questions or clarifications needed. However, I'm sure you all will need this time to plan.
Yes. Yeah, we know how to contact you.
Wonderful. So, I will give you all this time to roundtable in character and out of character, whatever you like. Discuss plans, and then we'll go into, again, just a roleplay scene, town time, and then the heist activity.
Gotcha.
And that will may or may not require rolls. If your plan is just kind of like, I want to do this spell or ability at this time to help, might not need a roll, might do it. We'll see.
Well, I
can
guess
change everyone into wind.
Is that conjuration
um,
or transmutation?
I'm
Turn us
about to say I
into
believe
wind.
that's.
Turn us into wind.
No. Nope.
Uh,
No.
Can't turn us into wind.
Okay, so we need a way out, and we need that way out to not cause trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you what I saw,
Okay.
What did
and
you say?
to be honest, it's just there's a lot. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of, for lack of a better way of putting it, there's a lot of just busyness. It's for someone like myself who is adept at tracking, I almost lost the person I was trying to follow multiple times
Mm-hmm.
because of just how much there is. So I wouldn't
So
bet on stealthily getting out of here easily,
Well,
at least not
I
with
will-
everyone.
I will also remind Throck that Windwalk is a 6th level spell, as is Transport via Plants, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. So you couldn't do both in the same day.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can either go through a tree, or I can transform us into wind and travel through the city. But I don't know how large the city is.
no, I think that's probably the best. Well, I think our way out is probably going through that tree to the ground. That way, you don't have to worry about how to safely travel, how to safely fall thousands of feet without dying along the way,
Mm-hmm.
or risk getting shot down when somebody notices a bunch of illegal travelers
So we just have to
leaving.
get to the tree.
All we have to do is get to the tree and go through.
I think our best bet would be to slowly and methodically get people there. Not no traveling in one big group. That would be instant. No, that would be terrible.
We
But
need some kind of excuse to
uh,
clear the park, or at least
I don't even
get
think we need.
attention elsewhere, so that we've got. How long does it take you to cast a spell?
Very quick.
Let's call it a minute.
One action.
6 seconds.
If it's quick, I could always make an explosion 600 feet away with an arrow.
Last resort.
I
If
was.
it's something like that, if they've got somebody with good eyes, they could guess where we're
Yeah.
shooting from and they might follow us through.
If I may suggest something,
What do you have in mind?
if well, let's treat the tree as prey, right? That's what we have to get to. So, the best way to catch prey would be to slowly spread out and then all converge on the same spot. It would solve the problem of not being in a group. It would solve the timing of getting us there, and I don't know. There's people among us who, if they can't stealth, they can get there anyway through other means, but only themselves. So it solves the problem of having everyone clumped up, which is what I see as the biggest problem.
True, but not everyone has ways to communicate with each other if there's 5 of us going in different directions. However, I could probably, and I look over at Throck, it's like, if you turn into a hermit crab, I can disguise myself as our butler and polymorph somebody else into a hermit crab, so I'll have 2 hermit crabs that I could just bring with me. And
You
then
really
there's...
want to? Is there a reason you want to carry around hermit crab so much?
That's the pet he said he would have.
It's the pet he would like.
It's the pet he said he would like.
I gotta make a note to tell Mother next time I send to her that her butler needs a hermit crab.
Yeah, pet her, absolutely. So I can just...
You probably shouldn't do that. She might...
Yeah, I can only
Don't do
turn
that.
one of you into a hermit crab at the same time. So I've been going into, like, my normal, just higher-pitched southern voice, and that's not okay. I just need to be Anja here. It's been 2 weeks, leave me alone. So, yeah, I could just carry 2 crabs, and that just leaves 2 of you that we have to, find a way to get there.
I can make it so they can't get caught. I have a spell that stops that.
Oh,
So,
is it a conjuration spell?
let me think for a second.
I'm really missing the fact that Shatter had Pass Without Trace on him. I'm just saying, like...
Pass Without Trace was the only reason my paladin ever got anywhere stealthily.
It's true!
Like,
Pass...
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
And I don't have to concentrate on it either, so
Okay.
I can do multiple people.
I still think we need to make sure eyes are looking away from the park.
Yeah. I mean...
And that means and we've got all day to get those eyes. We've got all day, maybe some extra time to get those eyes pointed away, and shouldn't be too hard to agree on some solid time to.
I think obviously night is the better choice. We should not be doing this in the middle of the day.
Yeah. So I think that means we need to...
What's up?
I kind of disagree with going at night. That seems more suspicious. Like,
But you went
I
out
don't
at
know.
night and it was bustling.
I was by myself.
Right.
People don't. That's the thing. Law-abiding citizens, they usually don't go out at night.
Exactly.
Sure, you got guards walking around, but guards have patrols. They have duties. They have places they're supposed to be.
I'm gonna ring.
As long as you get creative,
I'm
grease some
ringing
palms.
the bell frantically for the butler.
Answer some questions. You can make sure that guards aren't in the places you don't want them to be. And then you're alone.
Do people
Yeah.
not party here? Are there not bars or clubs? Like, what do people do here for fun during the evening?
Of course, there's bars and clubs and.
And they're abiding the law. They're not. She's just confused by the whole like law-abiding citizens don't go out at night, so she just wants
Is
to
that
make
why you
sure.
called me down here to ask me if there are in fact bars and clubs here?
Yes.
Okay.
There
I'm
wasn't
going to go
none- No,
walk
wait.
back. I'm going to
Don't
go
do
walk
that.
back to the lady's estate now,
But-
unless there's any more trivia that you need.
There was actually something and I forgot about it. Hold on a second, because there was a second question that I had for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally
I will-
forgot
I can
what
sit
it
here.
was.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, I need the exercise. I'm trying.
I mean, she kind of looks him over for a second. And is like, cardio is never gonna do you bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my thoughts precisely.
She's
This like raises an eyebrow and like makes like the pass over like a gold piece. Like, are you asking for are you asking for a bribe? Is that?
alright. So law-abiding citizens do go out at night. Is the crowd normally like at this particular park in the evening?
The parks are closed during the evening, so not usually very much.
What kind
Mostly-
of guard patrol do they have?
Not usually within the park, I would say. However, they keep an eye. You know, mostly the individuals who would go into the park during the evening are usually hoodlums or teenagers.
So all we have to do is be teenage hoodlums, and we'll be like, "Sorry, guys, we were just making
Sure,
out."
they're not allowed to then stay in the park, but yes,
Hoodlums.
if you got caught, I suppose that would be a very good alibi. However, I will say none of you kind of pauses and parts of me went, no, none of you look like teenage hoodlums. You all kind of look like seasoned adventurers.
Because he seems vaguely offended by this.
He's like, huh, as like the giant silver broadsword on his back like glints.
I give Honkuzi a hug and then rub his back. Don't worry, you're a great hoodlum.
Oh, I wasn't speaking more to the teenage aspect of that descriptor. Look more like just like hoodlums than teenagers. Yes, did you have another question?
Not right
Yeah.
now. You can leave if you want, but I might have another one in like 5 minutes. I just don't. That's how I operate.
Yes.
Sorry, I had a question for you before you leave.
Wonderful.
Are wolves a common pet here?
Common? No. Unheard of? Probably not. I will say if you have your very wonderful two wolves running around the city, it will definitely draw eyes.
I was gonna have them walk with me.
It will definitely draw more attention than if you did not have literally two wolves in the middle of a city.
Can't exactly leave them. Problems for another time.
And
Can
did
you-
you have a question?
Can you get leashes?
I can certainly. That is very easy to do. Yes. Did you, pointing at Brock, have a question? I saw your clock over. Oh, okay. My apologies. Anything else?
3 leashes.
But there's only two wolves.
We all know that.
Okay.
Oh, before you go,
Anjo
Yeah.
looks over at Hung Hoozy and it's like,
just tell Mother I said hello.
Certainly. Walks off.
"Are you really moving that fast?"
Hmm?
Do we all feel planned out enough to start doing the 3 scenes?
There
Or do
is-
you all want some more time to kind of formulate the broad plan and then
I think we need a little more time
Yeah.
because I don't know who's going where.
I think.
I don't think any of us do.
before- I think this should be a 2-part plan.
And I mean, here's the thing. We can also do somebody who wants to either have gained information about the area surrounding the park or have done the surveillance of the area around the park. And then
That's what I was
back.
thinking. Was
This is a
definitely
heist scene,
yeah.
so we can play around with times and flashbacks and flash forwards all
Oh my
we want.
god, it's like we're playing Blaze in the Dark or something.
Basically.
Like, that's what I was thinking, is like having I think like this is like a 2-day plan, in the sense that we should have, around the time we plan on moving to the tree and getting there, having someone scout that route, to see like what maybe guard shifts are, what crowds are like, and that sort of thing.
That sounds like a great contribution for someone. So who wants to do that and how?
I do not want to do that, so someone else should do that.
Well, I have disguise self, so I can.
Yeah, Fang doesn't want to go back out into the city unless he has to.
Yeah, I have disguise self, so I can disguise myself as either the butler or even Lady Hareen,
Great.
and walk
So-
about the city. I would probably want somebody to come with me in one way or another, just to have an extra pair of eyes.
Great. Looks like The Rock is volunteering.
All right, Throg, are you gonna be a hermit crone?
All right. Great. So first thing I'll have you do, Anja, is give me just like a spell attack for the efficacy of your disguise self.
Oh, my
like,
disguise self. I wouldn't
Yeah,
even like
exactly.
ask him for his like clothes and stuff. Like I was just like, "Can I have a set of your outfit, please?" Like,
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you advantage for thinking of that.
Nice. All right, so I'm just gonna roll 2d20, and whatever it is, be plus 8. So the 18 plus the 8.
Great. So 27. Nobody's gonna notice that you are not this butler person walking
Mhm.
around. So now, I would like either both of you to make an investigation check, or one of you to do it with advantage to represent the kind of cumulative effort of. I'm gonna actually, since this is Andra's task, I'll say Andra, you do it with advantage for bringing Throck along. So this is since this is your like part of the heist, whereas Throck sounds like the teleportation and maybe a little bit of something else.
Yeah,
who
it's
knows?
definitely good to bring him along, especially I think with Throck, just because it's like so he can see the layout of the land and all
Yeah.
of that. So investigation.
So let's get a
19.
oof, 19. So here we go. So first question before I narrate, actually, would you be doing this in the morning, evening, or both?
The evening, around the time we would decide that we would want to leave the next day. Like I want to see how.
Got it. So
That
the night
time-
before,
yeah.
night before the heist.
Yeah, that time of day
Great.
looks for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna roll. Okay. Yes. So you both kind of head out. Again, this is a very strange city for all of you. It is like this polished, beautiful stone everywhere, like these large, like paved streets, but people aren't walking in them. Instead, they are relegated to like these smaller streets on the sides of them with instead these large elementals basically walking around with like boxes on their backs. I don't remember the actual term for them, with people riding in them like almost palanquins, but the elementals are carrying them, just kind of like, and they're both like, if you're going which one way, you're on one side of the road, and if you're going the other way, you're on the other side of the road. So it's just like this very strange manner. As you are going out at night, there's actually also very frequent lamps filled with flame. However, the flame is moving about in a way that I think especially Throck can recognize as somewhat alive, but at least with some elemental efficacy, so that it is constantly burning. So even though you are exploring around at night, you have no problem seeing, and in fact, you would think neither would the peacekeepers of this town, city, I should say. Walking around the park, first of all, it is pretty infrequent guard, and I'm just going to use guard and peacekeeper interchangeably in this episode. I can already tell it's pretty infrequent, the amount of people walking around. However, you would say that there's not many times when there's not somebody looking around. So to give you a better idea of this park, it is a mostly open green space. There is a very small like fence. It's more just an aesthetic fence, not something that can really keep anyone out. There is lots of benches and a nice path weaving through it. and the trees are, there is basically one big tree, like a large shade tree in the middle of it, with a circular bench around it. So that's the tree you're going for. It's in the center of this open green space, though. So there isn't like a tree on the edge or any cover on your dash towards there. So you think that with a 19, I will say that there are a few times that you notice in the guard changes that they might be able to make that dash without being seen. However, it's not likely that you can like just get all the way there and teleport without being seen.
Okay.
Just because it's such an open space, and because there is enough peacekeepers in the city that unless something happens, you're going to be seen, or there's going to be at least the chance to be seen if somebody's not distracted. With a 19, you do notice, not in the direction of the park, you do notice a large group of individuals exit a bar and like crowd down the street, like a block down to another bar. And while doing so, the guards are pretty distracted.
Okay,
so
so they tend to pay attention. This is essentially
Seems like
Jackson Square next to the French Quarter.
It seems like pub crawls are not uncommon, and that them maybe turning a little weird, or at least people making sure they don't turn weird, is also not uncommon.
Can I tell what race the majority of the guards are?
There does not seem to be one. The majority of people appear to be a mixture of Genasi, Aarakocra, and Goliath.
Okay.
Those seem to be the three majorities. However, there are additionally humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes.
Gotcha.
There is a wide spectrum. This, in some ways, is kind of the most mixed place you've been in. Like Malja is a very much melting pot. However, there are like very distinct sectors and quarters in that city, and there are this is a huge homogenous mix in a way that not a lot of other cities are.
All right. Just kind of.
But I will say that, yes.
You said the park is about 5 minutes away from where we're at. Is that walking, or is that
running? So a 5-minute run.
Okay.
So it's not far. It's probably a bit out of range. It's out of range of like a dimension door, but it's not far.
And dimension door is a conjuration spell, so that would be like a
it's teleportation.
Yeah.
All teleportation is conjuration.
Yeah. So that would be like a last ditch thing to use.
Because it also would only get 2 people there.
As far as the guard distraction goes, and like I'm kind of like sitting on a park bench talking to Throck.
We could also now go to the like back around the table as you both have talked this out to the party, and now we're back to the planning.
Emergency situation. If we get caught, I can just make them believe that we weren't there or that we're supposed to be there. If they're not an elf.
Talking your way out?
It's a little bit more modification of somebody's memory.
That sounds a little precarious.
Oh, it's very precarious, but it could just buy us just enough time to teleport through the plants.
But if we get guards descending on us from multiple directions, is that gonna work?
Well, I'm not. Well, here's the thing. There wasn't a lot of people guarding. Like it wasn't like there's just like swathes of guards. Like I imagine maybe 1 or 2 might approach us if they catch us, and it's like, hey, you. And people making out the park, you're not supposed to be here. And then I'd be like, oh, sorry, but we are supposed to be here. And they'd be like, oh yeah, you're supposed to be here. And then they would leave us alone could finish.
Wait. Sorry.
Oh man, thanks, Opie. I'm just gonna hey. No. Okay.
If things get really bad, I could also throw up a wall of fire.
As which we should noted, but we should probably not do that.
Well, hopefully it's not gonna get that bad.
Like if it's that or jail, do what you got to do. But
Yeah. I mean, he
Can
can
I
do the
just
wall of
say-
fire. Yes.
What if your magic doesn't work? Then what?
Well, why wouldn't my magic work?
They can tell when you use a specific school of magic. Why wouldn't they at least have some sort of defense against magic? I would think.
Well, if that's the case, I'm sitting around and waiting. They would be here because I used magic to cast Disguise Self on myself.
No. What I meant was defense against magic. We already know they can sense whatever the summoning magic or
The Conjuring.
that
Something
shit's
like that.
that shit's expensive. You think they'd pay for that for every single guard? Nah, fuck that.
I'm just trying to make sure there's no holes in the plan.
Well, no. I get what you mean. That's why I think we need to go talk to that shit talker and make sure that all the guards we're dealing with are either cooperative or distracted, whichever is easiest. to
Well,
do.
they were distracted by pub crawls. Maybe we could just pay somebody to cause a disturbance.
Yeah, we could just get a couple rowdy parties started. So yeah, that's probably the easy way because making
Maybe somebody's gonna start a
Yeah.
fight. Or
that butler was mentioning earlier that the guards aren't exactly corrupt around here. Like Honjo's like visibly scoffing, like he's not. So it's probably easier to give them something to do than it is to convince them not to do anything.
Okay. And I guess the
So we're gonna
question-
cut to who's going to go to try and talk to this shit talker, as they apparently have named themselves.
Obviously, Honjo's
I would
Whether-
like to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a person
Okay, great.
I want to
I
meet.
think that's the pair. All right then.
Alright.
Is this? Do either of you want to make this your dedicated heist thing? Well, here, actually, what I will say, depending on how the roleplay goes, if you want to, because this is a heist, if you want to pay with a favor, I will say that can become your activities, right? Is doing a favor for the shit talker, and then we'll kind of talk through what that might what kind of fun thing that might be, and do some fun roleplay and narrative there. But for now, will say this doesn't have to be your things. So you get some directions, and you both essentially are walked to another basement of a place that has a larger like storm access drain. You think that this place maybe has some things that maybe is like a slight reservoir. You can see the basement's a little bowed down. If it rained, probably lots of water. So you all are shuffled in. As you walk through the sewers of the city, as you're like walking down, the water parts around you as it flows down. Like it does not, you are not walking through sewer water. You are walking in a sewer, but all the water is kind of moving around you and all of that.
How's the smell?
It's bad. Oh no,
Okay.
like the smell though, like you are in a sewer of a 1920s city. Like it is not like a good
Okay.
time at all, but the water isn't touching you. So you all are let down. You see multiple other channel ways kind of feeding into a large circular chamber with lots of grates, and you can see bits of like steam and smoke coming out of the top of the chamber. Essentially, think of it as like their bottom is full of grates, and the top is also full of grates. One has water entering, the other has steam leaving. Um, and yeah, there is kind of a large door with a basically think of it as like the emoji turd. Like there's just like a depiction, like a little stylized depiction of a piece of shit on this door. And you all, you have to like do a secret knock onto that little symbol.
Okay.
And the door flies open. First of all, you are assaulted with the probably the worst smell you've ever really been assaulted with, as you are basically standing in this city's sewer treatment plant, but sitting there in kind of like I'm trying to just like those like bright yellow protective suits that like a chemist or someone dealing with hazardous like almost
suit.
kind of like that, like almost
Yeah.
like a hazmat suit that's kind of like stretching and like warping a bit around there. So this is a salamander. This is a 8 foot tall, bright red kind of like snake like creature with two arms coming out, but their maw is like they comes out to like a large kind of serpentine maw, basically just like a giant snake humanoid. Almost think like a naga if you ever played World of Warcraft, I suppose. But basically, there's just a giant red snake person who just radiates heat, who has like these massive goggles that is amplifying the size of their eyes to like a huge degree, and it's just like sitting in the middle of some water that is just like steaming and boiling up around them, as they kind of like turn and wave to you both, as like they kind of move their hand, and you see now a kind of like humanoid-ish like pseudopod like form come out of one of the waterways and kind of jumps into like a large barrel that goes into this like back contraption. There's obviously some kind of like contraption or something, and no, there's no Lamia. Yeah, what do you to do seeing this like salamander in like a hazmat suit working the waste sewer treatment plant here?
Just the most confused look from Fang. He's slowly getting more and more tired of this city.
Heard you like talking shit.
Yeah. Yes, I do. What can I do for you?
Well, there's a couple bars around a particular park, and like if there are a couple fights starting at a particular time of night.
Ooh, we getting beaten up here,
Well, that's not too important. Just
just trying to sow a little chaos.
Just needs some shit stirred. So,
well, that's my job. That's my specialty.
Yeah.
All you need to know about it is we need eyes off of a specific area, and those bars are what we need, are the best distraction we got.
Oh, a little bit of subterfuge. I see. What, if I may ask, do you need no longer seen?
Just like people not watching a park for a few minutes.
There's brothels for that if that's what you're going for. I don't.
No.
Oh, no, it's not that kind of privacy.
All right. Well, if you're looking to just get some fight's done, and maybe a little bit of distraction for those badge wearers, I think I could potentially be of service. But of course, I don't even get this for free.
Of course. You scratch our back, we scratch yours.
Don't do that. You'll burn some of your skin off. I'm very hot, and I know, I've heard it all before. I am happily single.
Understandable.
I don't understand it. Do you see all of this going on right now? I'm a catch.
I hear you like rumors. Yes?
Rumors are such a nasty word. It's what people like to say my truths when they don't like what they are.
Fair enough. I have some interesting information if you'd like it.
Now, no offense, but you don't strike me both as people who have come into the city with paperwork or, as you say, legally. Am I wrong?
Well, that feels like the sort of question you've got to lead up to, the kind of thing you pay for.
Well, that answers the question, don't you think? My only thing is that I've dealt with people who have come in and want to get out, or come in and want to stay in, but don't want to do all that paperwork. Their wrists, they just can't handle it. And my wrists, they're perfectly healthy. Just so if that was something you were worried about, just to say. However, they like to come to be saying they have information that I might find interesting or scintillating, and if it doesn't deal with the city or someone in it, it can be difficult for me to make it interesting. So while I do love getting some scintillating secrets or interesting tidbits, if they can't help me, you see what I'm saying?
Then don't worry too much about information. As I'm sure you suspect, we're able-bodied, and in the event some hard labor isn't what you're looking for, gold spins, doesn't it?
Quite well, if in fact.
So I suppose let's consider the easy case, gold.
Well, if you're wanting to distract all the guards away from this park so you can do your dirty business, I mean, I'm going to have to bail all of my people out of the prisons, and I'm going to have to convince them to do this in the first place, and I'm going to have to take my cut, so this is not going to be a cheap affair. Unless you want me, I couldn't just leave my employees high and dry.
I understand. I've done some work myself. Of course, you treat your people well. You make sure they feel like they're valued.
Exactly. You know what I would be if I didn't do that? I'd be so shitty.
Nobody likes feeling like shit.
Indeed. As he says that, another shipment comes in and gets deposited in, and the smell just kind of continues to waft in.
Shipment. That is perfect. How much are you talking?
Well, I can think of quite a few bars. bars out and about near the square that you're looking to do your little escapade. And if you want full coverage, then it's going to be, I'd say, around 3 bars. And if I want something properly distracting, then it's going to require at least a dozen people at those bars each. You can see how employing 3 dozen people can be a bit expensive, yes.
Well, of course, I know a little bit about logistics myself, and it's not too hard to get people to start talking shit and throwing hands. The real question is about how much does it take to pop somebody out after a night's unwise antic.
Indeed, that is the good question, and it is pretty easy to get people racked up here sometimes. However, we need them to do it for long enough. They need to have proper stamina for this to go off well. We want you all to be able to finish, Don't want a premature run in. Yes?
I suppose that's fair enough.
It will require a bit of a premium, I think.
Like obviously, like starts like rolling like a few gold pieces, like just along his like hand, like as they're speaking. Just like, please continue.
Yes. We can, of course, continue to speak cost and gold and employment and so many details. Or we can get to something a little more interesting. And that is payment of a favor and task.
Suppose that depends on the kind of work doing. We have an idea of our timetable, so sad to say, but we can't make this a long-term deal.
That's as much as it might sadden me. I do believe that we can make something a quickie, so to say, work. I'm sure that one of you has maybe more dexterous hands, a lighter touch, perhaps.
You would love what I can do with my fingers.
I think I would. And you see, you overhear so much working down here, and there's so many places I just would love to get or maybe your hands into, that I think it would be good if maybe for payment you simply acquired something for me.
You have my attention.
Terrific. So how about we set this as a price? You and I will discuss this endeavor, and once it has been completed, then I shall do the necessary legwork. As he briefly glances down to his having no legs being a salamander, and complete this transaction.
I think we have ourselves a deal.
Terrific. Now, I want to do the disservice of shaking my hand. I'm a little too hot for you, unfortunately. So, if you don't mind, and kind of slithers over to a desk and just takes out what looks to be basically like a cuneiform tablet, something, and basically spends a little bit of time both using his ambient body heat to soften the tablet and then chiseling in, because you don't think paper does too great in the conditions and around them. basically chisels in this deal, and then puts like a stamp with this same kind of like poop emoji symbol into the tablet, and then just kind of motions towards it, backing up because even like because as they move a little closer to you, there is a like furnace heat coming off of them.
Who's gonna like motion for like Fang to stay, like just like just kind of like stay where he's standing, and then he'll move and sign it, like just Huzi.
Great. Wonderful. Looks like an accord has been reached. You're indicating towards saying you are, of course, welcome to stay if it has enticed you. However, I believe that my good friend and I have some alone time to spend.
Yes. No, no offense meant, but I have a sensitive nose, and I should probably leave. But
I
it
could
has
have.
been a pleasure.
I know it has. Ta-ta. Have a wonderful day. Think of me the next time you use the shitter here.
You finally get a laugh out of Fang as he leaves. He's been trying so hard.
I
But
don't
yes.
always get to the tight asses, I'll tell you what. So
Christ on a fucking
here's
cracker. I
here's the
can't.
thing you learn, Hoosie. No matter how tight the ass, everyone's a little looser when it comes to shit.
Jesus Christ!
We're not stopping. You can't stop it.
So, as far as this service, of which I am very interested to use those dexterous little fingers, there is, well, as you may or may not be aware, this city is rife with artifice and work as the as the giants of the city have allowed just a scintillating amount of their runic magic to be learned by certain mages, and thus creations of arcane artifacts and other titillating devices are a little more common here. If Now they are unfortunately also very well looked after mostly, except in the transport. So all I need from you is to be a driver for a bit, and then to, when you happen to grab the bags, whether that's on the entry or exit of this person, like any good valet would do, to maybe just take a little something extra. Does that sound like something you and your, I'm sure, other companions could handle?
A little something off the top, a little switcheroo.
Exactly. No
Nice.
one will even notice, I'm sure.
Nice and smooth with that. Do you have something particular in mind? Something you just need to collect?
You know just the right questions, don't you? So, I had something very particular in mind, yes. There is, and we'll kind of like pull out another tablet that has a ring that appears to be two kind of draconic claws grasping some kind of gem. So like the ring is just like the claws kind of connected and then grasping this little gem. Just a little ditty like this. And there's like a series of these strange, like gigantic runes along the bottom. Those would be on the inside band if you want to make sure you grabbed my right little thing. So, no. You think it can be done?
Think you're going to love your new
I should feel so lucky. Well, once this ring is in my possession, I'm sure I can get something together that night. I know you all are sure to be excited to leave. Most people of your ilk are.
Well, you know us pretty well.
Hmm.
Once we're in, once and we've had our fun, we don't much enjoy consequences.
I'm sure. Well, terrific. I'm very much looking forward to any time we may run in game.
Seemed like we've got the beginnings of a beautiful relationship here.
Such a rapport. I agree.
Anyway, if I ever hear of any scintillating ship on the wind, I'll be sure to send it your way.
That's so good to hear. I know, and if you're getting bored, I know that safe house is so crammed up. And always come down here and have some more scintillating conversation.
Duly noted.
Splendid. Have a terrific evening.
Of course. And turn to leave. Yep.
Ooh. Looks over. Look at the time. I have shit to do. And the door closes.
And once he gets far enough away, very confident he's out of earshot.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad. You were fully in a sewer treatment plant.
I smelled some special odors before, but
Yeah. Great. So that's gonna be Hung Huzi's thing during basically we're gonna have a day. So this is the day of prep, and then we have the execution. So we have what Anja has done in before the day of prep. So basically, I think we're going to simplify this. So everyone's gonna have a scene between whoever they want, just so we can get some role play of how you're spending. Basically, you have 2 days. So the day that Anja scouted around, and then the day that Hunghuzi's gonna steal the ring, and then shit's gonna go down. So you got 2 days of role play and a little bit of downtime for something.
Here. I want to force Throck to listen to the girl talk that's gonna happen between Anja and Robin.
Anja and who?
Excuse me, Anja and Proserpina. It's just because it's gonna happen. They're already alone except for Throck, so.
Amazing. So please.
So, Proserpina.
Oh, yeah.
You got, well, I was just wondering if you, how's, you and Hung Huzi doing since yesterday when I mage hand you into him?
Well, that was you. Oh,
That was absolutely me. I'm very sorry, but I think it worked out for the best.
I hope it did. I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah. It was a really. I mean, aside from him snoring, but he's always snored.
You slept in his room?
It was really nice. Yeah, kind of, I kind of spent the night.
Did you do... She just does the motion.
We did.
Was it...
More than once.
Oh.
Throck, if you tried to say something, I saw your mouth moving, but you might have been muted.
Uh, are you Honghuzi's mate?
I mean, maybe it's a little premature. I mean, we'd have to have that talk, I suppose. But
They mated,
I
but
mean,
they're not monogamous yet. Or are you? Like, are y'all like, I don't know. You
we
just
didn't exactly.
there wasn't a no, I guess, between all of the. There wouldn't be any time.
I mean, he took it slow. He answered my questions.
Oh, well, that's right. Was it your first time?
It was, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Goosey! Taking the maidens! Sounds a lot better than
So,
my
yeah.
first time.
I mean, even when because that when their dongwongle points, you can maybe go boing with your finger.
What, hold on. What?
When the dongwongle is pointing out at you, you can touch the tip of it with your finger and it goes boing.
Like, Anja this is all in character. She's just gonna pause and she goes, I know exactly what you mean, actually.
But I mean, he's shown me quite a few things.
I'm surprised that,
I
like,
mean, I'm
y'all
kinda
aren't
sore.
tired. Like, is that why you just kind of hung out all day? Like, instead of...
I mean,
Oh, okay.
Kinda,
Well,
I
as
wanted to
long
stay
as
around
it was
and-
a pleasant experience.
it was. I mean, it kind of hurt at first, but I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, your muscles...
Hmm.
I'll teach you how to do Kegels later. It's fine.
okay. But it ended up really nice, and he's learning to hug, which is really good.
Yeah, hugging is nice. At this point, she's
Yeah,
gonna
and-
look over at Throck, though. Throck, are you a virgin?
What is that?
Have you mated before?
No.
Okay. That's a yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I am a virgin.
Yes.
Yes, I am a virgin.
I mean, that's fine, too. I was just curious. You didn't... Okay.
No, I haven't found a mate yet.
What do you look for in a mate?
Sharp teeth, nice big body.
He likes them thick?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger, the more hardy the children.
So, are you...
That is true. That is true.
So, I have a question. As a crocodile folk, do y'all give live birth or do you lay eggs like actual crocodiles?
Eggs.
So, do crocodile folk bury their babies in like a nest by the water?
No.
Okay.
We borrow them underneath the muck.
Yeah.
Independently.
Mm.
Sometimes in piles. But then in the dry season, the eggs hatch as the muck gets harder.
Mm. Does the entire clutch end up as one sex? Depending on the temperature of the muck? Were you born with a bunch of brothers?
Yeah.
And any sisters?
Yeah.
Oh. She's just taking down notes. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, maybe if I ever get my life back together and I decide to go back to school, I'm gonna tell some biology teacher about this.
Okay. it that I'm a virgin?
It's not bad. It's just a state of life.
I do wish to be a father.
Oh, I think you'd make a great dad.
Thank you. I won't eat them.
That's the first part to being a good father.
Yeah, that's definitely the first part of being a really, really good dad is not eating your offspring. Do you eat other dads' offspring?
This reminds me when we had that conversation about the thing that we don't talk about me doing.
Oh, the tigers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
I was coming at you from a completely scientific perspective on this, not on a emotion type of perspective. I just don't know a lot about you or crocodile. Well, I know a little bit about crocodiles. I read a book on them. I read a paper on them. But you're not. But you're a person. So you're different, and clearly you're different because you had brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Sometimes it's different each time. I don't know why, but sometimes there's more males, sometimes more females. Sometimes.
That sounds like a random hand circumstance, like with the rest of us. You can't exactly like will. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody who can will their baby sex if they want to. I don't know.
Throck looks at Proserpina and did you come from an egg?
I really don't know. I assume I didn't, but then again, I guess my birth might have hurt my mother, because, I mean, and she pats her horns.
Were you born with, are your horns always that big?
I really don't know. I mean, they're not as big as some of the others I've seen, but I guess I know from what I've been told, they were always there. They did kind of grow a little bit, but you know.
Well, maybe you were just born with like little nubs. You could go ask her.
Maybe.
Do you want to go ask Lady Hareen how it felt?
I kind of thought about asking her.
You should just ask her. Did it hurt? Just ask her if you were born with horns, and if you came naturally or through surgery.
Because I mean, I sort of assume I probably was with her. Now that I know her a little bit more, and I've worked with her, I would probably assume surgery.
Maybe. Then the horns wouldn't be that big of an issue.
Yeah,
we're mammals, Throck, so we grow inside of our moms, not outside.
Weird.
If you say so. Anyway.
Okay.
Proserpina, can you use a shield?
Yes.
Do you wanna borrow mine?
Your beach shield?
Yeah, my meat shield.
I mean, technically, I got my own now.
It's very clearly made of metal.
Well, it kind of has a little thing on it to where if it works better when you're protecting someone with it who, you know, you've shared meat with. You know.
Rock, roll an insight check. That's the line for me. That's the one I need him to roll insight on.
Nice.
Oh, you get the subtext. Like your mind immediately goes to eating, but then you're like, wait, because it wouldn't have, it hasn't worked on me when the other one used it.
But could I use my bow with the shield or?
If that's a question for me,
Yeah.
not.
I mean,
really.
I know the answer.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
As an archer, I know the answer, but I mean,
Well, maybe if
and
you're ever caught in
Hankuzi's
a
really
maze.
good with his greatsword.
That is true. Maybe he should hold on to it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. He could borrow it.
It'd be closer to scale for him too.
You know, this actually looks like Chatters. Did you know that? This is...
I kind of saw the similarities.
Yeah, it's actually modeled after Chatters. I don't know what inspired Alex to do that, but,
But he did a really good job.
it's a beautiful shield. You want to see a trick?
I think and see on that, and we're gonna. It's a really beautiful shield. It's the Hawkblocker, this magical shield, inspired by something, had to have been created.
Penis.
Yeah. So. We have a good idea, I think, of the heist now. So it's gonna be either in the evening. There's gonna be that distraction. So we just have, obviously, we have the heist and we have Honghuzian's little mini heist, and we've had a nice scene. So who knows what they want to do in the day leading up to the heist? Yeah, right, 2 days.
Oh, sorry.
My plan is to make some healing potions just in case we need them.
Great. So why don't you make me 3 total intelligence plus proficiency checks. So this is with your alchemist tools, which you should now be proficient in. I think I told you you were. If I didn't, then you are. Because you spent all that time with the Lady Hareen getting a crash course.
Okay, here we go. So intelligence plus proficiency.
Yes. Okay.
I'm going to use a reroll for the first one.
You got it. Please
you
do.
You also have 9 nat 20s. I'm just pointing
What?
this out.
Wait,
I
what?
have 9?
You have 9.
When did I get more than 2?
You have 9.
Oh.
We'll take that.
Okay.
Montana, you have 5.
Okay. So yes, you are able to make, I will say, here's what I will say. So the 11 is going to get you 1, and I will say a D4 for 14 and a D6 for 21. So we'll roll a D4 plus a D6 plus 1. We'll see how many healing potions you're able to make in the, 2-ish days leading up to this heist. Ooh, nice. So you make 5 healing potions. So they're just standard 2d4 plus 2 healing potions. But you can kind of, so that is 1 for each of the party, unless you want to divvy it up another way.
1 for everybody except myself, and Honguzi gets 2.
There you go. So you all now have each healing potion, and Honguzi, you have 2. That'll heal you for 2d4 plus 2 as a bonus action. So that's what you're doing. Proserpina, I would love to, the camera will come to you in a scene with who, and then let's roll.
I should probably spend some time with Fang.
So, please.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if you're gonna go looking for Fang, you'll probably just find him in his room, just sitting and making a leash.
Hey, Fang, come taste this, please.
He'll walk up and leery of it for a second, then just kind of taste it. Good, bad. He doesn't show it on his face. But
Okay. Well, you're not dead yet, so it's not poison.
I'm glad you knew which one you were giving me.
And I mean, I haven't gotten that much education in poisons, but I just want to make sure that if it tastes bad, then it's probably going to heal you because medicine always tastes bad.
Yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of there's a reason why I don't like getting hurt very much. The medical dude, I can't think of the healer. That's the word I was looking for. The healer in my tribe, he had some of the worst remedies that made you feel sicker than you actually were.
Oh, I've had a few of those in my time too, back in my village. But are your puppies going to be okay? I mean, I know Mother's butler was maybe kind of concerned that having your dogs out in the city was going to be a problem.
Yeah, I haven't figured out what to do about it, and that's why I have the leashes. They're not going to like it. They're going to hate the leashes. But I figure if they're on a leash, then they hopefully will pay less attention to it and just think they're exotic pets. Which,
if you want some help, I mean, I'm used to being around animals, so that way you wouldn't have to worry about two of them at once.
oh, it's not a big deal there.
Okay.
I mean, you can walk one if you want. It's not gonna. They're extremely well behaved animals.
They looked at. I mean, they're very pretty too.
Yeah. Here, go ahead, and he'll kind of push. You see, he doesn't want to, but he pushes Tooth over to you, and
Oh, aren't you a pretty one?
that's Tooth. He's
Hello,
the
Tooth.
younger one.
Oh, you're like a bigger version of some of the dogs we had on the farm.
Yeah. And then he's the younger one, and he's still smaller. But
I know. I've been there too, but you're gonna get bigger and you're gonna get stronger.
The older one is Claw. She's the one who was bonded to me a long time ago.
Oh, it was easy to tell walking when we were going places with them.
Yeah. Claw's hard to explain. She has a knack for knowing where pain is, I guess. I've noticed she's been hanging around Anja a lot.
Yeah. It's been kind of rough for Anja the past couple of days. I suck at helping people. That's why I wanted Mother to teach me. And I'm not good with my words, but I'm just hoping I could be there for her so she doesn't feel so alone.
At least you do something.
I try.
I've done nothing but get my ass kicked and hunt.
Oh, I haven't hunted in a while.
Come hunting with me.
I might do that.
I mean,
I used to hunt to help my family.
You're better with a bow than I am. You can maybe give me a few pointers and help me out with this.
I can do that.
It's been a minute since I've had a bow to hunt with, so getting used to it is interesting.
How'd you get stuck down in the caves, the Underdark?
I was chasing prey.
Ooh,
and I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I got it.
I know what it's like to not pay attention. That's how I sort of ended up with Honguzi and Anja and Brock and everybody. I got on the wrong boat, and that's how I ended up with them.
I took one wrong step and fell down a hole. And next thing I know, I was stuck in a cave with no sunlight.
Ooh.
For
I haven't done that yet, but that's not
a long time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was. I'm still alive, so I don't know if there's. I don't know if there's something to be sorry about. I think I learned from it. And, I mean, I might have gone a little feral for a minute there.
She kind of backs up a little bit.
It was hard not having, well, 2/3 of my soul here, and that takes a toll on your mind. A lot
Yeah,
of toll.
I'd imagine.
But they're here now, so
Oh, that's good.
yeah. I can't wait to get out of this city.
I can tell you. I don't mean to sound rude or nothing, but growing up around as many animals, I could sort of see you getting skittish.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I'm understanding that word correctly, then yes, skittish would be the correct word.
Well, bouncing around, looking kind of back and forth.
Scared.
Yeah, scared. That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't like this place.
But I'll tell you this: you're not alone here. You got friends, and we got your back.
Just a look of suspicion at that. I don't know about that. The only one who's really given me the time of day has been Throck. I mean, no offense to you, at least you're talking to me.
So I've been kind of dealing with some stuff, and things have changed big time for me in the past couple of weeks.
I can tell.
So,
well,
no.
I'm not good with the whole talking thing.
Oh, I'm good at saying the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So, but if you just, she pets Tooth and Claw. I'll leave them with you. If you do decide you want some help with them, I'll walk one of them so you don't have to look. Unless you want to look like that type, we should get you some clothes so you can look like the rich person who has multiple exotic pets.
I do need some new clothes. But I'm assuming you don't mean the clothes I mean. I'm assuming
Probably
you mean
not.
Nice clothes. I don't
Like
know how to feel about that.
Stuff like what Goozy and I wore to lunch with Father the other day.
I just want it to be known. I don't like that this has to happen. But I guess it has to happen.
We'll see. But you think on it?
If it gets me out of the city. And as you leave, Tooth will follow you. Because... Yeah. And Fang's going to go back to crafting a leash out of leather. Because I don't know if the guy ever came back.
No, yeah, you have leashes. And I cannot wait to hear you describe the outfit that you're going to do this heist in now. So, does anybody else know what they are doing during this semi-downtime?
Well, who's these? I've actually got proficiency with jewelry tools. So, you know what?
You have less time than everyone else because you are doing a heist.
Yeah, true. But do I have enough time to craft up a decent-looking fake ring?
That is a great question for the dice to answer. So it's going to be proficiency, and I will say dexterity.
All right.
So luckily, on Hosey's forte.
Let's see what we get.
Yes, it is.
All
is that going to lead into a scene you want to have with someone, maybe? Or is that for not this part of the season?
Nothing's coming to mind, so to say he's just gonna hammer it out and relative solitude.
Great. What are we gonna focus in on for your scene here?
Let's see. So he's got his tools. He's in that craft space, I assume. And he's just he's like, because obviously the shit talker didn't let him walk off with that picture he showed him, so he had to mock it up himself. And okay, so gotta think. This is kind of thing I've done before. Just got to drive, pick it up, and hold off. I haven't, not a pickpocket, not by trade, got fast hands, but if I need to make a distraction, that means I've got to give them something to look at. And that means I definitely need to be hiding, like pulls the half done ring up to look at it. Another head's wrong. And I need to be. I didn't ask who I'd be taking this from. I should. Slipping, who's he? Slipping. No. This is fine. And where have I got to be taking it from? Hopefully I won't need to take it off of the finger. But if I do, if it's got to be a hold up, that means it's now. Probably that's what I'll hold up. But I better make sure I've got the dagger.
Is he talking to himself out loud?
He is absolutely doing that, yes. He's speaking aloud to himself.
Hey,
luckily,
buddy.
Yeah.
Did you know you're talking out loud? We can all hear you.
What?
Like your process? It's very loud.
It's very focusing too. You gotta think through these kinds of.
Speaking
You gotta.
of, I heard from a little bird that this shield would work great for you in Proserpina, and I'm gonna hand it to you. Hold on to it. It might come in handy with protecting her. It's not like I can use it.
Yeah, I guess. So he's gonna look at it. All right, I've heard you make noise before.
I'm just gonna flick it with her finger. Just waiting for Rob to do that. Like, no.
So I look at it.
I guess it's not hard enough. Hold on a second, and she's gonna punch it. There it is. I just wanted to make sure it still worked.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it for a bit because I need to steal something, and
You need to steal something?
I need to steal something.
You're gonna go risk.
It's gonna keep guards from watching.
Okay. But what if you get caught? What are we supposed to do?
I'm not gonna get caught. It's just theft. Theft is easy. I've done theft a million times before. I've done theft a million times before.
I would like to
It's
point out,
basic. This is simple.
as long as it's not a couch, I think you should be fine.
It's this ring.
You're stealing the ring that you already have?
It's this ring, but magic and real.
What kind of magic?
Didn't ask. Don't really care. It's not. It's not for us. You can't take it.
Okay. Do you need any help?
I can help out. And Rock lays a hand on you and casts freedom of movement. You have an hour.
Can and like about like how far away like is the like time of like the actual thing I need to be doing?
The comedy of it. I don't think this is even the right day.
Can you do that again tomorrow? It's not a.
Also,
urgent.
hello, Raid.
Hello,
Welcome,
Raid.
everybody. From How I Nerd. We are in the middle of getting ready for a heist escape from a floating giant city, both in scale and primary denizen. The party has so far talked with the sultry salamander to basically schedule ballroom brawls to distract the guards so they can teleport via plants out of the city.
Yeah. There's been some interesting conversations between the NPCs.
The PCs mostly.
Yeah, the PCs. Sorry. Listen, I've been up since 3 a.m. So I'm just like, yes, words. I promise I can do these. Yeah. But I don't think anyone is turning into hermit crabs. Like, are we gonna...
Oh, no. We'll find out.
I hope so.
Great.
All
So, yes, I think. Who else? Does anybody else have something they wanted to do in preparation for the heist, or just as downtime activity?
The only thing that I can think real quick is maybe if the butler could, or I can even go to the library that was mentioned.
You can.
Okay, and I'll probably do disguise as the butler. Did I get his name?
Clarence.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend to be Clarence going to the library. So I'm gonna take that spell slot off. I want to see if there's any information about getting souls off the ethereal plane.
Okay. Make a, I'll say either investigation or religion check.
Definitely investigation, because that's my jam. Come on, jam. It's an 11.
That's 11.
But
Unless you have something from the audience.
I probably do. Do I have a reroll, I guess is the question. I know I have nat 20s.
Yeah, as you walk in as well, they kind of, the like librarian kind of like, oh, Clarence, you of course have clearance to go in here. Go on in.
I just smile. I do his like little. I don't do an Anja smile and wave because that would be too obvious. But I've been kind of watching him, so I do his like.
He's been the only person you've like been like,
I've
regularly interacting with other than the party in this time. So yeah.
So I just kind of like give like a nod to. I don't have any rerolls, but because this is very important to Anja, because I love her, I will use a nat 20 on that investigation check.
Great. So, here's good news. Souls can't be on the ethereal plane. It wouldn't be possible.
Okay.
The ethereal plane is basically just a transitionary space.
Okay.
So you know for a fact then that something probably just brought the soul back to the material plane. I will say that there are multiple different kinds of objects and effects that can contain and trap souls. I mean, you as a wizard could learn Soul Cage.
I do know Soul Cage, actually.
But that's a more temporary solution. There are more powerful enchantments and items that can permanently contain souls.
Mm.
However, most effects like that have some kind of trigger or are a temporary thing because souls are like important in the mythology and kind of larger ecosystem of the multiverse. And so if you just like hold on to a soul for too long, people might look for it. So generally, those kinds of effects aren't forever. You would say that it would be a bit unheard of for someone to like hold on to a soul and not consume it, do something with it, or let it go within a year.
Okay.
I will
So
say, since you have like 2 days, you may also go into another subject as well, if you want, or further research into that topic if you like.
do I know
Mhm.
if the soul is on the material plane? Do I know if scrying can find it?
Ooh, that's a spicy question. I will say, because you got that net 20, I would say yes. Like if you scried on like if you knew like a person's identity and scried on them and they were like a skeleton or zombies in some like necromancer's tower, I'd say that would find them. But that I mean, pretty sure the material component for Soul Cage is a lead cage.
It was a silver
mm,
cage. Remember, we had this
a silver cage.
conversation
Got
for
it.
me to buy
That's
it.
right, silver.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say most of the enchantments that would contain a soul would also prevent it from being scryed on for that very reason.
Okay.
So technically yes, but unless it's just like some kind of weird natural effect, no, it would not.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because again, people would generate. There's like a whole goddess that's all about just ferrying souls. So if they could just be scryed on if they're lost, then that kind of be bad for them.
That's the Raven Queen, right? Like I'm not wrong about this. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do.
Yes, it's the Rock.
I was just gonna say I would want to see Anja.
Yeah.
And be like, I know you can talk to creatures, but can you find a creature and see what they're doing?
Yeah. I can try. That's what usually if I have the success of it depends on the information about that person or creature that I have. If I've met them, it's very easy. But if they're strong enough for me not to allow it, then like the last time that I actually tried to scry on my father, and I saw him, and like some hand was reaching out, and she pauses for a second. She's like, "What would happen if I said that name here?" There's like this moment where she just goes into space. But anyway, yeah, like I could, like if they deny me or if they're trapped, so what do you want me, or who do you want me to scry on?
My clan member that I always send messages to.
Oh, I've met him. He would actually be fairly easy. But if this is the, yeah, I'll go ahead and just say that I prepared scrying just in case for this day and not
That's fine.
haste.
Like, I mean, worst case scenario, this happened in the first day, and then you didn't like. This is a heist setup.
Yeah.
This is time is.
Yeah,
time
if
is
you want me to,
malleable.
I can scry on your clan member. What's his name?
Biggest in water. He picked his new
water.
name while
Biggest
while
in
talking
water.
to y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and for my crocodile friend Throck, scry
Great.
on biggest in water.
You focus on your component, this like perfect silver mirror that you were gifted by your aunt in season 2, and your sight flies out of your body. You are flung across the continent back to the swamp. You see again, this burnt, destroyed remnant of what the swamp once was. And you see this crocodilian who you had spoken to earlier with a group of many other kinds of lizard folk. Looks to be probably a little less than maybe like 100 total.
Mm-hmm.
This appears to maybe be everyone that's left.
Mm.
Kind of like walking along, and they're basically, you see they've set up camp in a very secluded like cave away from the swamp. They're right near the swamp, but
Mm-hmm.
the swamp is not very good cover anymore, as most of the foliage has been burned away, so they are keeping their distance. Um, as you are watching, you can see that they have obviously like a people keeping watch on a rotating guard,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say roll a perception check,
Yeah.
through your scrying.
Okay. Perception. I'm not great at this. I'm better. I say that every time, but I always get a pretty decent roll.
Yeah. Um, so from the center of the swamp, you can hear just like this kind of like thudding sound, like
Mm-hmm.
something large impacting a solid object. And it's pretty rhythmic. And then there's like a brief pause, and then a like louder like, and just barely like in the like vibrations of whatever this like large creature or object impacting is, in the like reverberation sound,
Mm-hmm.
it almost sounds like some kind of wild like dog or animal, like maybe like a wolf, like growling, like just like this kind of lupine like growl within the reverberations of whatever this thing trying to get through something failing, like from the just
Mm-hmm.
repetitive nature. There's just like almost this growl that reverberates
And
through.
we were here, like, well, I was scrying on Throck when
Mhm.
I saw the dragon, so this doesn't sound like a dragon.
No, the growl does not. I
Okay.
would say you're smart enough to think that this is probably the dragon who's the thing beating against the surface or whatever it's trying to
Yeah.
get through. Um,
I'm gonna
but the
translate
growl is
this.
not the
Yeah, I'm gonna
dragon.
translate this to Throck and like imitate the growl even. Like, I don't think that's the dragon.
Hmm.
I know that's
Uh,
not the dragon. So, is there something that your people keep? That did they have a and I like motion over to the people hanging out with the cute dogs.
no, no, we don't. Mm, we don't do that.
Is
No.
there anything from your swamp that's canine-ish that is capable of that kind of thing?
No.
Definitely not on
No.
that scale as well. Like,
Mm, it, that sounds like it's almost as big as the dragon or close to its size. That's so no. Hopefully, that's a good noise. Mm, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I kind of. She pauses for a second. I'm the reason your friend is dead, so. Or not here with us. So. I owe you a lot. So anytime I can help you, just ask. And if I can, I'll do whatever I can.
He like you see him like take like a big deep breath in. He's trying to find the words. Mm, thank you, mm, but it can't be undone. Mm,
yet.
But I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I blame you less than I did before, but there is a part of me that won't forget.
That's completely fair.
But I know you did what you thought was best.
I did what was selfish. And every time I've done that, someone has died, so I have to try and be less of that. Unless I want people to die, then I guess that's how it works. I don't know.
And is there anything else before we go into Hung Hoosie's little heist? The pre-heist. Yes.
Fang has a little bit of research to do.
Great.
If he can get to the library, he's gonna have to
Yes.
have someone who can read better come with him, though.
That's fine.
So if anybody wants to go with him, somebody who can preferably read better than him.
I'm just already going.
Yeah,
so
you
Then
could
I'm-
have just
then he'll
gone
probably-
with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Time. Heisting.
It's alright,
Great.
flashback!
So what are you
Yeah.
researching? What are you researching?
Hamburger!
He is researching. Okay. Specifically, he is researching Githyanki in general,
Mhm.
because he has no idea what they are.
Great.
Other than the fact that they taste lightly stringy and gamey.
They do. I mean, pretty muscle, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, yeah, this is also going to be. Well, this is going to be either an Arcana or. No, I would say this is either history or an investigation check.
Both of which are the same modifier. So we will do investigation.
Okay.
Just for shits and giggles.
Okay. 18's not bad. Not
It's
bad at all.
It's not terrible.
Okay. So you would know now that Githyanki are part of the twin descendants of the race. So long ago, Illithid ruled everything. They controlled it all, everything, and they had many races underneath them. One of which was a race whose name is extinct, but that race became the Githyanki and Githzerai. The Githyanki live in the astral plane, which is a large, vast expanse where you do not age, and live some in a somewhat a very fortified and not often seen or talked about place. They are very naturally psionically gifted, so they have lots of innate magic, although they do not always necessarily cast spells in the same way. They can be counterspelled, but they're not always necessarily spells. They are known for, previous to a year and a half ago, they were known for raiding the material plane for pieces of art, artisans, skilled people, nothing of like exceptional value. Like they were never stealing like super powerful magical artifacts or like people who were like weapons in and of themselves. They were just like seeing like art and artists. And other than that, you know that they obviously have astral warships that are able to very, very, you do find out that their astral warships are very rarely able to move between the planes. Like it's not a common thing that the ships can do. Like the book says that every 7 days they can move between the planes. But then after that day of moving, they are like they have to rest basically. Like they can't fly around.
Stasis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know that they also work a lot in silver, as it naturally attunes with their psionic selves very easily. Also, I'm just gonna peel behind the curtain basically, because I would say that you would know that while some Githyanki are able to like channel their psionic abilities into like full-on spells, and those are Gish, that basically pretty much any Gith that is out fighting can basically jump, Misty Step, and non-detection, which means that unless they choose to be, Githyanki are unscryable.
Hmm.
Unless they choose to be.
Okay.
I'm here translating all of this.
Yeah.
Why is the Githrazi also unscribable?
There.
No.
Okay. Man, Audra was getting excited for a second.
Githzerai, we would know have different abilities that they can scry use with their psionic abilities, and one of them is not non-detection. So they are not constantly unscryable if they choose to be.
The other smaller subject is basically a history of the last 1.5 years, because that's about how much time he just.
You know my intro now.
Yeah, no.
Basically,
yeah,
you know my
that
intro
was,
to the season.
Yeah, that was more of a like in character. He's learning that. Out of character, I already know that. It's the first time he's been able to figure out this kind of stuff. So, then yeah, he'd probably just sit and help Anja whenever she needs it, if she needs anything, which I doubt. But he's basically just going to be hovering at that point.
Great.
She'll just thank him for the company. It's very nice. But other than that, she'll be buried in her books before she ends up back over there.
Great. So I think we're going to cut to Honghuzi's little heist here. So, Honghuzi, you go to... So, and I should say, so you've obviously made a dummy ring. Any other prep or things you are doing before we cut over?
So, yeah, the first thing is going to change into some, like, much more reasonable, like, clothes instead of his usual extravagance. He's going to endeavor to hide his usual studded leather, like magical studded leather, beneath the clothing. Like just look like just kind of a slightly overdressed worker rather than a completely nondescript one.
Then an adventurer.
Yeah, an adventurer who is down enough on his luck that he's got to fucking
for sure
make some extra silver. And as part of that, it's gonna have like just dagger at his waist, like perfectly acceptable for self-defense, but also
even the big swords behind.
Exactly.
Yep. Sounds good. So, Honghuzi, you are outside on the streets of the city. It is, again, full of people, elementals being piloted, moved along the city streets. You are standing in front of this like large hulking elemental that has like steps molded into its side, as well as kind of some nice raiments along the side of it. You see walking down the street your mark, an Air Genasi person. You see they are wearing kind of long flowing grayish green robes, kind of a symbol of, you assume, some kind of academia or something like that. You're not entirely sure, because you're not from here, and kind of some spectacles on top of their head, and completely bald as they kind of walk towards you and kind of like doing the Uber thing of like not 100% on who they're supposed to be riding with. It looks like they are carrying a case. It looks to be so it looks to be kind of like an adamantine lockbox with a lock, however, that appears to be just normal like iron steel.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just like just raise my hand, like just like doing like the usual like is it like because yeah, obviously I've seen them like I think yeah
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, they walk up and first of all, just extend a hand. You see, they move with like a pretty natural grace. I don't know how many Air Genasi Honghuzi's met, but even for Air Genasi, they seem to move like very lithely. Extend their hand very gracefully out to you.
Well, like duly noted. Reach out, shake it.
A pleasure. Um, so, I assume you know where you're headed.
Of course, like and out character, I assume like this was also part of the
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Like yeah, just cross the city, there and go.
Terrific. And we'll kind of like hold out the lockbox to you and start walking up the elemental.
Sure. Just like take it in hand, like wait for them, and then follow it up, then like get in position, and just place my body between like I'm just holding the lockbox like casually, but obscuring the lock from view, and just gonna get in with the elemental to start heading along.
Great. Um, how do you operate an elemental, Honghuzi? How do you do it?
Hong Uzi, kind of a show off.
Mhm.
So he's gonna yeah. All right. No trouble, no problems. Come on, my little friend, as if you are one of those wonderful, wonderful horses from back home. Keep this right smooth, yeah? Get to it.
Great.
Like it was.
Yeah. Why don't you roll me a charisma arcana check
All right, I can do that.
to see if you can, operate this thing correctly.
So that'll be a 17.
Okay. Yeah, you see it, the elemental like respond quickly to your words at first, and kind of it's a little jolty as it kind of moves maybe a little quicker than you intended in places, and like it makes the turns a little too tight. Like you're trying to show off, but also like not throw your clientele off of the top. Um, but as you go along, you're able to do a pretty smooth ride. Give me a perception check as you're kind of ferrying this person along.
Sure. That's a 10. I've got to re-roll. Got 2 20s. I think I'm going to use that last re-roll.
All right.
I want 18. That'll do. We like that.
Great. So what I would have told you with a 10 is just that people are taking notice of this genasi. With an 18, you imagine this is what, like if you saw a member of parliament or like high government, but not like a presidential, like this is nobody who's maybe like if they got assassinated, be in the newspaper. This is like a higher level bureaucrat, someone respected in the society, someone who's like not personally known factor, but whose organization they represent something important in the city. You would wager. Um, I will say that it's definitely you definitely don't see any like children take notice. Like this isn't something that's like, oh, it's more you see like older individuals and adults like kind of see this individual and just kind of like do that thing where when you know you're around someone important or surround someone with authority that you just kind of like straighten up a little bit and just kind of keep like people just kind of seem to pay attention to what they're doing around this individual more than like a normal citizen.
So, like, I'm gonna need to. Don't have proper thieves tools, but with blacksmith tools, one thing I can do is I can disassemble this lock and then reassemble it, and that's what I'll have to do. So I need some time to do that. What I'm going to say is, well, seems like we're getting a lot of extra attention. Is that the kind of thing you want?
Comes with the station. Not something I can typically avoid.
Well, this is your city. I imagine you know it pretty well. I'm sure if you gave me a couple directions, we could probably take a little bit more circuitous route. Keep eyes off you. Let you relax a little bit more.
I'll make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. 15.
I wouldn't mind.
All right. Just tell me where to go and just mention it every so often. Like I know where we need to be headed, but this is your city and not mine.
Yeah, we'll do. And yeah, you see, as you continue, they kind of start feeding you a couple extra directions, and you are now taking a little more scenic and less populated route.
Yeah, and okay, so also like time to start on that lock, and I'm gonna be using blacksmith tools to yeah, like I said, to just like as quietly as I can, just disassemble it so I can pop it open. Slip the rings. Yeah.
So this is going to be 2 rolls, one to get into the lock and one to not be seen doing so.
Of course.
So the roll for the general public is going to be at disadvantage because you thought of that. And then, of course, there's going to be a roll for the person you're giving a ride to. So why don't we get the roll? Now, I'm just going to say, as far as the roll for the lock, this is to see can you get it done before you reach your destination. Because you could do this. Like, this is not anything out of your ability. It's in your speed. So, dexterity and proficiency for that. Because I'm assuming you are proficient in blacksmithing tools.
Yes.
Great.
Dexterity. Ooh. Thank you. That proficiency.
Woof. Nice. Great. That should be a 25 because you added, I think, +3 plus.
That should be.
Because it's your dex is 5. I'm
Let
not
me.
sure.
No, my dex actually is 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be. It's a 25, but that's still amazing. So you're going to be able to do the lock part, no problem. Now comes the trickier part, the stealth check or sleight of hand, I suppose, if you would prefer.
I'll go with stealth because I'd rather use my body plus the odd bit of conversation to keep his attention off the box.
If you would like to, you may make a performance check or a persuasion check to attempt to give the Genasi disadvantage if you're attempting to kind of distract them that way.
Let's go with performance, like using the. Okay. Let's go with the Uber driver classic. Like slowly reveal. Actually, you are also an interesting human being. Well, an interesting being with neat hobbies and history to spice up the ride.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be performance. Ooh, that's a 13. But is really it is far too important for Hong Uzi to impress this stranger I'm willing to use a natural 20 on that.
Okay, then I will give them disadvantage, which has lowered your DC. They originally rolled a natural 18, and now they have a lower number. So why don't you roll that stealth check? Yeah, no. Like my first roll, my rolls, if you hadn't done anything, was a 19 for the public and an 18 for the Genasi. So you are being very smart about this heist.
Okay. Let's see if we can bring it home. Here's that stealth. 19. Yeah, I'll take that. I will take that.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're also placing the ring back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's take
So
it. Yeah.
you, as you're driving this elemental along, kind of like one hand blocking, like putting your arm up almost, and the other taking apart this lock carefully. This lockbox is full of different items. There appears to be like at least 20 different magical rings, as well as the whole bottom is full of spell scrolls, like just rolled up. This, you have no idea what any of them do, but this is like probably a hoard of treasure.
This is a haul.
Yes.
There is a very real temptation.
Like here, make
if
an
this was-
Arcana
yeah,
check.
yeah.
Arcana.
Okay, it's Arcana 18.
So there is, you can see a small bit of enchantment around it, but so basically imagine that this lockbox kind of opens up one on one, almost like a tackle box, and there are two shelves with these 20 rings displayed, and then the bottom is full of spell scrolls. Coming up in between the spell scrolls, kind of dividing the bottom of the box in half, is a small pedestal with a bit of magical enchantment around it, with another ring sitting in it. It is not the one you're looking to get. You see a beautiful solid platinum band with a like 3 insets for like looks like some kind of perfect spheres. 2 of them are completely missing, but in the middle one there is a perfect pearlescent crystal, just this tiny mote of perfect energy. Roll me another Arcana check with advantage.
All right. Advantage and Arcana 22.
This, while it does appear to have some kind of defense around it, you're not sure exactly what, this is a ring of 3 wishes with 1 wish remaining.
Like, it takes all of Honghu's like composure not to audibly gasp.
Mm-hmm.
And like his mind like starts running a mile a minute, he's thinking, and then like slowly like and then like he starts to like almost unconsciously like reach for like a little bit of liquid courage, just commit. He's like, and then as he realizes that that's not there, he comes down. He comes down, like relaxes, like no, don't have it. I couldn't get away with it. I couldn't get away with it. And he doesn't make the attempt on that ring of 3 wishes. He does not.
Are you going to try and grab any of the other clearly magical rings or scrolls?
Let's see here. Like I assume like he's already like made the like switch with the target.
Yeah, you swap out your target ring easily.
And like I assume like the target like is like the mark is like clearly like just completely like absorbed in this back and forth that they've had going.
Yep. With it, you used a natural 20, so yeah, they. In fact, you see, they're currently doing like a wistful monologue to the horizon, talking about like talking about their years studying abroad in Malta.
Uh, 2 rings. Right, like the nearest two. Like the
Great.
Yeah.
All right. You just easiest, so easy to just slip 2 extra rings into your pocket, and then you manage to close the case and lock it back up. As the elemental reaches its destination, the individual walks down and kind of waits for you to exit with the case.
Yep. Come back down, like holding it, hand it off.
Mm-hmm. You see they grab it and then begin to almost look like they're gonna go to look into it.
It's like, there's something wrong, so you don't trust me?
Make a persuasion check, or I would say make a deception check. You're trying to misdirect this person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Deceptione. 17.
Sorry, force of habit. Sometimes you're right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you're ever in trouble or need someone to help you in the city, we'll kind of like hand you. I mean, we would know it as just like a business card, but hands you like basically a small piece of parchment, and you see there is first of all that same symbol that he's wearing. It essentially looks like it's a shield shaped crest with a large crate that is open with looks like all manner of different kinds of like vegetation growing out of it, but with a large kind of like ring at the top that kind of like none of the crops grow through. And you see the business card just has like an address and just has Department of Regulation underneath it. No name.
Okay. I'll keep you in mind. Yeah, thank you.
This was a surprisingly enjoyable ride. If I could have someone like you take me to the lower section of the city more often, I would be very appreciative.
Well, we'll see what we can do. You never know how the wheel of fate turns and all that.
Indeed. Well, kind of like pats the case. I think we might just be able to help things go in our favor.
Yep. And let him go on his way.
And you see, you've taken him to what looks to be like a larger governmental building, right? Has a similar, so it's all the crests of the city appear to be the same shape. This one has looks to be a flock of birds flying up with that same large ring at the top, but it's not labeled. And you, I'm assuming, get out of Dodge.
Yep.
Great. So you are able, we're going to just kind of abstract, you are able to return the ring to its now owner. And then if you would like, you can have Anja, because we're in heist mode, so time is wibbly wobbly. So you have a ring of protection, so that's +2 to your AC. Well as what's a fun ring? Let me do a quick little.
Tables.
Say again.
I said tables.
Yeah. So fun fact, I did just roll on a D100. I did roll a 1. So I'm going to say that this is a ring that is currently innate. So it currently gives the wearer the ability to cast the Mold Earth spell, and that is all. However, as time goes on, other abilities might become unlocked.
Oh,
Both of those do require attunement.
right. And I think we can, as far as the parties goes, I think we can figure out how to distribute those at a later time.
Yeah.
But yes, put those in
So-
the proverbial pot.
Yes. So, and we are now going to anything else before we get to the heist section of tonight.
Ready.
All right, great.
Ready.
So it is the evening of the heist. The preamble has been done. The pre-heist, if you will, the plan. As far as I understand it, the party has waited till the evening and are preparing to sneak towards the park. At the same time, the agents of the Salamander, the Shit Talker, as they have named themselves, has planted people to start friendly friendly rounds of fisticuffs in local taverns in order to distract the peacekeeping members of the town guard away from the park so that the party may dash to the park and the central tree within it in order to cast transport via plants. So, as the party reaches towards the park, we again see the streets of Shantu lit by elemental fire, and we start to hear crashing and banging and and shouts and yells as there is a cacophony of different bar room brawls happening. I would like who's the main lookout here? I'll say two people are probably able to be the main lookouts of the operation here.
Bang is one of them for
Yeah, for sure.
him and the Wolves will be working together as one of the lookout teams.
It's a lot of eyes.
And I'll be the other one.
Right, great. So both of you roll perception checks here.
Can I have advantage because of Wolves helping?
Or I'll say so.
Okay. Just gotta wait for Chrome to not be a piece of shit.
That is an 18 from Proserpina.
Just waiting on Chrome to work.
No, you're good. You're good.
There we go. Where's my perception? Okay. Advantage. Click the button. There we go.
So, as everyone is walking out and along, you two, the lookouts, notice on a few. There's like a good amount of stuff going on the sidewalks of the street. Like there's outdoor cafes and musicians usually during the night. A lot of that's died down. But both of you kind of spot with your respective dark visions and keen eyes posters of Honghusi's face with the word wanted underneath it. There,
Goosey. What did you do? What did you do?
Three rings. One of them's keeping the guards looking away. The other two were performance bonuses.
Well, you may want to keep your head down, because and I point to the posters.
Yeah. Duly noted. And and with that in mind, I didn't use it, so wait a minute. I'm gonna check something before I do something that I might not be able to take back.
Uh-huh. Actually,
Okay.
I'm not sure either.
Okay. Where's that?
Etherealness
Yes. Yeah, that's
is a
exactly what I'm thinking
transmutation spell,
of.
not a
Conjuration.
conjuration spell.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's
And
well. That's
conjuration,
highly relevant. And yeah, like in character, I stop. I think about it for a second because just maybe. But no, I've done a little bit of research. This is fine. I'll see you there. And
Okay.
yeah, etherealness, slip a
uh,
plane over.
I will say,
Yeah.
as you enter the ethereal plane, there are, first of all, none of the damage that you've seen in different places on the surface. And in fact, there is a sharpness to the ethereal plane here that you haven't seen before. The strange details appear more vibrant. It is easier. Normally, you have to basically squint and guess at what most things are in the ethereal plane. Everything's kind of through this strange, warbled, grainy vision. Here it is sharp and clear.
Like even magically here, it's solid. It's settled. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. Here's this. Wait, let me turn off. No, okay, yeah, it is. Perception. Ooh. Natural
That's a
20.
natural 20. Yeah. So the fire elementals in the lanterns, as well as you see an earth elemental come down the street. They're not also in the ethereal plane. However, they both are. They're extremely present. They are here to a degree that you don't think other elementals typically are.
So they're locked down is a word for it, but it is more that they were not they're not called here so much as they are 100%
They're
wherever
here.
they came from. This is where they are. They're here now.
Almost more to the fact that you think this is now more considered where they are from now. Even.
All right.
It might even be to that degree.
Non-zero possibility that these were elementals constructed for this city by this city.
Possibly.
Neat.
So yes, Honghuzi is ethereal, invisible to mortal eyes. So, how about the rest of y'all? What are you doing?
I believe the plan for Anja and I was supposed to be transformed on Anja.
Yeah, I think that
also-
way, like a giant crocodile going around is hard to hide, right?
Yep.
So if you just
I agree.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to spend a disguised self to look like the butler.
Okay. And are you
just-
going to polymorph Throck then? Is that what I'm hearing?
Throck can he just wild shape into something?
Yeah, I can wild
Yeah.
shape.
You're gonna wild shape into
A Tressum.
A what?
Yeah. A Tressum. It's like a winged cat.
Oh, okay.
sounds good. And Proserpina and Fang, are you just trying to be sneaky?
Actually, Fang has got his nice outfit on that he asked the butler for, which is a kind of a tux, and he's just walking his dogs like he belongs there, as he's keeping an eye out. He's trying his best to just look like he belongs.
Great.
And I'm wearing the dress that Honghuzi bought me. to meet Mother in, and I'm trying to carry myself the way Mother carries herself when she moves.
Great. So it sounds like I'm gonna get performance checks from the three people acting like they belong, with advantage from the person who has a full disguise self up. I will say, Proserpina, you can also get advantage because you have an outfit that most people would probably not question. Uh, um, I'm going to not give you disadvantage for having wolves. Bang.
Oddly enough, I'm proficient in performance.
Yeah. Give me a moment. Do I
You know
have
what?
anything to use?
You have two.
I'm gonna
you
take
have,
one of my nat 20s.
Okay.
All
Great.
right. You have two of them, Ember.
I have 2. Luck points or nats?
Natties.
I'm using a natty on that. Then
Okay.
I do not feel like failing that.
Okay.
It's like a terrible idea right now.
Yeah. It's a little bit.
So, I'm going to say that there is only one guard. There's only one entity that really might be able to see what is going on right now. And basically can only try and beat that 23. They have a +6, so I'm going to just roll this in front of the board. That's a 3. That ain't gonna do it. Do I have a reroll just to make this more interesting?
I mean,
I think I'm gonna use a natty. I have one more reroll.
there you go.
So I'm gonna do one little reroll. See if we can make this a little more exciting.
All right. A meat. All right, let's do this.
Okay. So the four of you you're all walking fairly separately, right?
Yeah.
Except for Thrak and Anja.
Yeah, like obviously I have.
Yeah.
I just my new pet.
Yeah. So yeah, Proserpina, you almost surprising yourself, walking with just like an authority and grace that you rarely command naturally, just like putting on this like dress. And I feel like you've been around some drow being, imposing drow, that like you're starting to kind of get an idea what like walking around like you're too important to be talked to it looks like, and just kind of almost push yourself down towards this area. And Thrak, you just kind of move about with your wolves as
Not
if
Thrak.
nothing
Fang.
is wrong.
Fang.
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 Fang, yes, Fang. Woohoo! And no one seems to question it. So, Anja, as you walk about with this winged cat following you, you see a individual in a gray-green robe. They appear to be a Goliath, so they're like 6.5 feet tall, gray skin, completely hairless, tattoos all along. However, the tattoos have exclusively right angles to them. They appear to be basically like stylized gigantic runes. I don't know if you speak gigantic or not.
I think Anja might speak giant, actually. No, she doesn't. She's not the one. It's my other half elf that speaks giant.
I do.
Are you hanging around Anja?
He's in the ether plane.
Honestly, I'm probably closer.
I figured you went right to the tree.
I'm probably like closer to Proserpina.
Proserpina, yeah, that makes sense. So
in the that's.
You don't. If things go poorly, then we'll be rolling perception to see how much all y'all see, since you are trying to not, be a big clump of weirdos. But yeah, you see this individual approaches you, Anja, and says,
I give a nod.
Hey, I think I've seen you around. Can I help you? You seem a little lost.
I shake my head. I know exactly where. Sorry, I have a cold. You might want to stand back. I'm contagious. I know exactly where I am. I am just taking my lady's new pet for a walk.
I see. Come with me then.
I don't need to.
You are contagious? How many other people? And you
It's
see,
it's only a
it'll-
cold. It's only I'm casting modify memory.
Tell me how that spell works. Tell me how the spell works.
Here we go.
Ah,
It's
that's a
a
lot.
It's
Okay,
it's a
okay.
spell.
Must make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you using a nat 1 on me
Yeah.
before I roll?
Let's just do it. Let's
All right.
roll
So
with
I only
this
have
day.
one nat 1
Yeah.
left.
Let's roll with it.
All right. So,
I
you
want
cast
to-
the spell.
Yes.
Yes.
I cast a spell, and I would like to insert with him in the memory that that he knows that I've had my flu shot, so it's fine. And that this is this is completely normal. I'm supposed to do this. There's no need to bother me.
Okay. So basically, this figure just slumps unconscious for a
It's the
second,
first time she's
like a
used it.
rag doll,
Yeah.
as you speak this memory into its mind.
And I do
And
it in Anja
then-
voice because I'm frantic.
Yeah. And then they stand back up. My apologies.
No
You know
problem.
how careful we have to be
Oh,
about
absolutely.
disease here.
Absolutely.
Please.
It's really
have a
just
wonderful day.
It's hay fever. It's fine. Thank you so
Ah.
much.
Wow.
And I'm by the tree after all, and I'm gonna like look at the cat and be like, oh my god. And I'm gonna like
I would
haul
recommend
ass.
not heading towards it, but to each their own, and starts walking off.
And I haul ass like. By the
Alright.
time I get to the tree, I'm just sweating. Like.
You all rush up to the tree. Hong, can you just drop etherealness? Does it take a minute to get rid of?
No, as far as I can tell, it seems like you can just. I think
Great.
it's just like an action or
So
something. To
I'm
drop it.
assuming as the other four get there, you reappear.
I'm gonna wait till I see the cast a spell to cast a spell to pop it, just in case.
Okay.
Right, put
So
Throck away. Here, Throck.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
so Throck, are you?
I transform back into Sprock. Cool. And then I open up the tree. Ooh.
Drop etherealness.
All right. As you cast the spell, Montana, this is a roll you get to do because it is your character, but this is not the kind that we're nat 20ing, or we can maybe re-roll. I need you to roll me a d20. This is just again a straight luck check like we've done in the season past. Because while that individual is not bothering Anja, that doesn't mean they're not near by.
You have
Oh.
one reroll, Montana.
You have one reroll.
Okay.
And I was going to say that you could roll with advantage because of how you all have set yourselves up.
Okay.
Should probably use the reroll then.
Oh,
You may
man.
use the reroll to roll one more d20.
This is how all my luck rolls go.
Under 5. Okay.
Okay.
10 is not ideal, but it is doable. So please describe the finishing of the spell.
Okay, so Throck, his hands melt inside of the tree, and as he opens up the tree, a bright white light shines out of it, and he pulls the tree apart. And he's like, "Everyone, quickly run!"
Yeah,
and
and-
because the tree is like slowly coming back in, it doesn't hold up.
I'm gonna go second to last, just in case Throck needs magical backup.
Understood. As you just rush through, and you all teleport via plants. The camera, though, stays as that bright white light, as Throck describes it, finishes, and we see that Goliath, that same notebook that was just in their hand in an instant when disease was brought up by Anja, with short descriptions and a incident report written down already as they close the notebook and head back towards their branch office.
I never dropped
Uh,
disguise self.
Great. That's
Yep.
going to be really bad for that person.
Oh,
Yeah, the butler of Hareen.
Uh-huh. So, uh, I'm going to just say you all could have planned teleporting via plants in near the ruins of Pentar, because you have people who know how to scry. You could have just, I would say you all could have just scried on Chatter, because you know
Yeah.
Chatter has been flying as a giant eagle there. Um, so you see, I will say in that scry you were able to find a tree, and you now see, you weren't able to see the actual ruins, but you were able to find a spot nearby. When you teleport there, Chatter is not there. You appear in a small copse of woods in a small little like basin valley. Um, there appears to be a decently hilled area nearby, um, but you can see just like a little bit of architecture peeking out from behind one of the hills. So you all crest it, I'm sure carefully, making sure not to be seen. Below, in a large section of flat land up against the coastline, you see what was at one point probably an exceedingly imposing citadel. Human scale, however, it appears to be one that could accommodate easily thousands of soldiers. This is a citadel of 5 distinct walled sections, a place that at its height was, especially before more traditional siege engines were created, nigh unbreakable without magical artifacts. It has been broken. The ground is split and sundered. There are essentially 5 distinct chunks of citadel. There are 2 sections of wall that touch the ground. One that has the main gate still intact, that is the probably largest chunk of this massive structure. Then one section that is still on the coastline, that is additionally, it is made of this now blackened and grayish stone. It looks like it has some kind of enchantment or maybe even just metal inlaid in from this distance. Like, this is even more than just normal stone. However, the other 3 pieces are not touching the ground. There is one large spire and section of what probably would be a, the command, maybe like the command section, or maybe just an important section to this central keep, um, as well as a large turreted, almost looks like what looks like would probably be like a large gathering hall, as well as you assume other buildings, and then another section of wall, all floating in different areas respective to the bottom section, as taking the center of where these massive, well, now ruins would be, there is this void. It reminds you all similarly of when Anja creates black holes. There is just this giant orb, you would say easily large enough to fit that dragon in Throck's homeland through wingspan, easily hundreds of foot wide orb of darkness, of a lack of light. It sits there in the midst of this ruins. You see the entire land around it and the ruins themselves sundered as if by its mere presence. There are no vegetation, there is not natural life in the presence of this thing. It is a wholly consuming, as you look at it, you feel just a sense within your very being of this having some kind of pull, a presence that other effects do not. But that is not all. You also do see Githyanki. You see, much like what was once above in the city of Lindsay, you see a massive astral warship. Not a brig like you have faced, but a massive planar raider. That appears to be the only ship. However, this massive behemoth appears to be flying near that massive tower section. You can see in each of the 5 distinct sections, 2 on the ground, 3 floating around this massive orb of the ruins, glowing of some kind of ritual or effect. There appears to be 5 distinct sections where the Githyanki are doing what they are doing to this orb. You know that there should be more on the other side, and that in order to properly stop the ritual that you can see going on, that you will need to be on both sides of whatever this is and stop it as soon as possible on the other side. So we have until the end of the session to do some recon and some roleplay of the ruins of Pentar.
Huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, that's all right.
You cast True Seeing. So, through this orb, you can see it looks like a mirrored version of what you're already seeing, but the citadel intact. You can see at the top of that main spire, there was undoubtedly dozens of towers around the citadel before, and you can see them now, but the only one that's surviving is that main spire that is floating at the peak of the orb now. You can see one glowing locust, just like the 5 around here, glowing in that tower in this strange. You can see the land around it, the same like shape, like the coastline is the same. You can see the same hills, but they are bleak and blighted. This is a realm where, while there's no natural life and there's a presence here, there is something truly wrong about the place you see through this orb. I think at this point I'll stop beating around the bush and saying that you are looking briefly into the Shadowfell, another plane of existence. This is the portal. As you all have found out recently, there's only one permanent portal to each of the planes of existence on the material plane. This is the portal to the Shadowfell on the material plane. You can see no Githyanki warships. However, roll me a perception check.
Everybody?
Just Anja with True Seeing. Because only Anja can see.
Will I get a advantage with True Seeing or just a normal perception?
No, True Seeing is just why you're able to do so.
Okay. Perception, right?
Yep.
That's a 12.
All I will say is that there appear to be figures along the battlements.
Okay. All right. Anja's probably not.
And
yeah, she's straight up gonna be like, "Yo, that's the Shadowfell."
One more thing. There is much like near the entrance to the Underdark you went in, there is that giant emblazoned arcane eye. And you can see, so there are these 5 kind of locusts of energy locuses of energy.
Okay, time out. Is a
here.
locust a different thing than a bug?
That's a locust. So there are 5 points of energy, one from each of the sections of
Yeah.
the ruins here in the Tier
Okay.
plane. Okay. So there's that eye.
Okay.
You can see, being somewhat obscured, I would say you're not entirely sure either intentionally or by the just overwhelming presence of the portal. Each kind of section of energy kind of is extending towards the portal in a way that when you look at it with true seeing almost looks like a skeletal hand reaching to grab it.
Have I seen this hand before?
100%.
Oh, no!
You've seen this hand rending the ethereal plane in a dream, and you've seen this hand destroy permanently George Bogmar in a scry. You think that in some way Vlakeith's presence and energies are here.
Anja, I don't know how a half drow goes pale, but like her skin grays, right? Like, cause she's describing the shadow flow, blah blah blah. And, like you just like see her, like stop, and I think the only person that really understands that's with her, she's gonna look at Hung Huzi and just mouth, I think she's here.
You hear like clearest, most like deeply enunciated fuck. That like anybody's like heard out of him in like days, if not weeks.
Ran over our heads.
What do we?
Like she gets so weak at the knees, and so like I don't the three of you, poor you guys, I'm so sorry. Like Anja just like her disguise self is down, but she just like her knees like buckle, like she's terrified, and she just like has to sit down.
This is honestly, I was kind of hoping this was going to be easier than the last time, but this is not easier. This is not easier. I don't. Do we have time? Like, is resting up? We have to go, don't we?
Yeah, let's get as far away as possible, please. Can somebody please pick me up?
I don't
will
think we can
say,
go that direction.
The hand is not like is like you would say it's like 75% of the way to grabbing the orb. Like there's still time, you think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is like not quite gonna be getting there in the next day or two.
Yeah.
Okay. We got some time. We gotta. Raja, I hate it, but we gotta do this. We can't, because if we don't, Shadow's just gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. Shadow's just gonna die. We gotta. Both sides. How do we do both sides?
We're all going to die.
What are you guys talking about?
This, we gotta break this.
What?
This this whole thing they're doing. We gotta break it. And then we gotta be on the other side and we gotta break it there too.
Okay. I can
What is it we're doing?
No, y'all are all, like, there's the Lich Queen involved.
Yeah, and we're still gonna have to do it. Hope she's not on the other side.
Is it, there's, like, right now, can we at
'Cause we
least...
got if we don't, uh, yeah, Chatter is going to die trying to stop it alone.
And let's not let
And
that happen.
Can I... Do I have it prepared?
You
Hold on a
have
second.
to. Do we?
I do.
That's what we came here to do, right? So we
Yeah.
have to.
this is what we came here
Not-
to do. Yeah, this is what we came here to do.
I would like...
Why are we questioning that?
Fear.
He like looks around. Of what?
Death. And maybe worse.
I would like to send to Chatter.
What do you say?
I'm gonna send to him that we made it to the ruins. That I see the hand of she who shall not be named because he would know who I'm talking about. And kind of give him where our general location is so that he can meet us because I want to make sure Chatter doesn't go in there by himself. But that's
Roll
also
an
another...
Arcana check. Roll spell attack, I should say.
Yeah,
actually.
sure. 18.
Okay. So, can you again say what you said for me?
So she's telling him in 25 words or less that we made it to the ruins. This is the location. Don't go alone. She who should not be named is there.
Now roll an Arcana check.
Okay. $25.
So, you cast Sending,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel your magic head towards the orb.
Mm-hmm.
As it does, you see the eye flit down towards it,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel as though your sending spell did not reach Chatter, but
Just hear her
someone else
go.
entirely who chooses to not use the 25 words.
Shit.
I think that's where we're gonna leave off for this episode of Revenge of the Gith. As we head into next episode, our finale, where the party has to figure out how to stop the Githiki from messing with them Shadowfell. Thank you all so much for joining us for this very eventful episode.
Well, hi everyone. Thank you for coming and showing up. Once again, Anja uses magic and shit. So that was exciting. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, everyone, playing today. As far as the rest of the week goes, I say it's a short week, but it's a short week, just because we're in a transitional phase. But tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. PEST, we will have the premiere of season 3 of The World of Ashenfell as I get to play a much more awkward half elf. So the writer die, disaster gaze is the theme of that one. So, and then Saturday you can catch us for Dragon Age. We only have 2 episodes left of Dragon Age as well, for this season. Also, don't forget, if you're just lurking in chat and you're interested in possibly playing with us, don't forget to join in the Discord, because very soon we're going to be putting up casting calls for our Extra Life games. There's going to be 9 games total that weekend, so there's lots of room. Get into the Discord, be a part of the community, and come play in my house. So with that, that's what we're doing. And then, we got finale next week. So yeah, that's me. Obi, go ahead and tell us where we can find you on the internet and what you're doing and all that great stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm Obadiah. On the internet, you can find me on Twitter at Joss Dyson, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Shinobi. We're on Tuesdays and Fridays, including this coming one, at 7 p.m. the Central Daylight Time. I am streaming Neo.
Nice. Who's next? I think that's Ember.
I was awake, I promise. Hi, I'm Ember Forge King. I play on this game on Wednesdays. I play over on Capri the Gamer's channel on Tuesdays. We play the Pathfinder Second Edition in the Horses of Steed the Horses of Steed is the name of it. Here soon, I'm gonna be over on Capri's channel again on Thursday, every other Thursday, playing a new game. I don't know how much I can say about yet, except for the date. So, yeah. Other than that, I try to stream. I don't really stream, but I try. Yeah.
All right, and now that's me. You can find me all over social media as Robin_Shadle. Twitch streaming is on hiatus right now because I'm already behind on grading for the semester. And I've also got some edits to make for a publication for a journal that I got to get done this week. So that's what I'll be doing. Follow me on Twitter to watch me complain about all of that. And hopefully throw in a bad pun here or there and show pictures of my cats.
Hi, I'm Montana. You can find me at MontanaWhat on Instagram and at MontanaWhat2 on Twitter. You can find me Thursday nights at 8 p.m. PDT time or PST, wherever you think it is. At 8 p.m., where I play Mask, and I play Backlash, a superhero from Vancouver. He now has teleportation powers and stuff like that. And I guess I'm also going to plug my food comedy Instagram, at Temptation Chef, where I make like weird comedy videos with food that most people should never eat.
Amazing. And hello, everyone. I'm Robbie Rowland. I was Robbie the GM tonight. You can find me usually every Thursday on the Dice Tournaments channel. We are taking the week off, but we would be playing if they're in Steamworks. You should check out, though, the Kickstarter for that role-playing game system made by the creator and runner of the stream there.
Yes.
It's a great system. But you can find me at Nerd League Gaming every Sunday with Val, playing in Hero Complex, where our Mass the Next Generation game as well. So you can wet your palate with Montana and then continue the Mass train on Sunday. And of course, you can find me as part of the Not Quite Heroes podcast, where the 5th edition actual play D&D podcast. We're a ton of fun, I think. You can find us in the tweet, the link in the description there, as well as I've started doing a little bit of solo streaming, a little dabbling. Come hang out as I typically play some Crusader Kings 3, but I'll eventually be playing some other games. And yeah, that's me.
All right. And with that, guys, we're going to go say hello to our friend Arvon Elron. They're doing their community D&D night, so we're going to go give some love over to there. Bye!